Hi, I'm Shelley Young, owner of the Chopping Block, and today I'm going to teach you how to work with Swiss chard. At the grocery store you'll find a couple varieties. This is just regular Swiss chard. This is something called rainbow chard, usually red or orange or yellowish. You use them interchangeably the same way, they taste the same. I think when you're cooking with Swiss chard, really, if there's any confusion around how to work with this, it might lie around the stem. The stem is totally edible, so I usually use the whole stem. Just cut off anything that looks brown and murky. It's really tender. So what I do here, though, I find it a little bit easier when I'm cutting the chard up, is to remove the stem and cut it separately. So what I'll do is just dice the stem up. And then for the leaves, I like to take these and we just roll them. This is called a chiffonade. And then just go down like this, about a 1/4 inch thick or so. You can dice it roughly too. It really doesn't matter how you cut these. That's how I cut it up. Today we're going to saute these and we're going to put that in a frittata, so you're also going to get to learn how to make a frittata. So I'm going to move to that recipe, and the first step in that is to saute some leeks in a little bit of butter. Now I've already cleaned these. We do have a video on that. They'll teach you how to do that. But I'm going to heat my pan over moderate heat, add a few tablespoons of butter. We'll saute those leeks until they're tender, then we'll add the Swiss chard. Once the leeks get tender and soft, I'm going to turn that heat up to a high heat. I like to cook my chard over very high heat because it has a lot of water in it. It'll keep you from boiling the chard in its own juice and give you more of a saute. Now the Swiss chard is going to go in a frittata and go into the oven, so I'm probably more lightly cooking this than I would if I was going to saute it and just eat it alone. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off right now, and we're going to make our egg mixture for the frittata. For my egg mixture, I have 8 eggs. I like to use a flat whisk when I'm whisking eggs. The eggs don't get caught in the whisk in the same way. I'm going to put a little bit of parsley in there, a couple tablespoons of parsley, a 1/2 cup of cream, a 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese, salt and pepper to taste. It depends on your own personal taste, but I like a good amount of pepper, probably a 1/2 teaspoon. And probably a teaspoon of salt, maybe a little bit more. You can always add a little bit more on the top if you want to. We're also going to add 1 roasted pepper to that, but I find it easier to whisk and put that in afterwards, so I'm going to whisk this first. While I'm mixing my egg mixture, I want to have my pan for my eggs preheating. This is on a pretty high heat. What I like to do is actually get that pan hot, and then I turn the flame off. The reason I get this pan so hot is that's what has the eggs release themselves from the pan. If I use a low heat, they'll tend to stick. But I do not want to cook those eggs the whole cooking time in this high heat because they'll overcook very easily. So I have a few tablespoons of butter, and I want to instantly be ready to put these in, swirl them in the pan, then put the eggs in immediately following. So you see the egg is cooking around the outside. I'm going to take my Swiss chard and leeks and put this around. I like to add the chard to the egg pan versus adding the eggs to the chard pan because there's a lot of moisture from the chard and the leeks, and it tends to make the eggs stick to the pan. So that's why I'm taking the extra step of cooking the eggs in a separate pan. Now, I'm going to put this into the oven at 375 degrees just until the eggs are set. All right, let's check our frittata. It's been baking in 375. Looks good. It's set in the middle and all around. I don't need browning on the top. That'll be overcooked. This nonstick pan, you can use metal utensils in or cut on with a knife. So I haven't had any problem doing this. But if you don't have one of those, you'll want to unmold this. It should slide right out of the pan if you followed my tricks there. I'm going to go ahead and slice this. Beautiful. And we have some easier than ever hollandaise. You'll find a video for how to make this on our website also. You can skip this part if you are not feeling indulgent. A little garnish. And that is how you work with Swiss chard and make Swiss chard frittata.